My name is Jules Gill and I'm here in Steamforged Games HQ so that I can talk to Fraser about this beautiful board game that is sitting in front of us, Horizon Seeds of Rebellion. Now, this is a brand new board game experience that is cooperative and a lot of fun because I played it myself, and you can check out the full official playthrough here on the Steamforged YouTube channel. But Fraser, let's cut to the chase. What the heck is going on? Where are we? What's the narrative here? Please, make my mind make sense.
So the narrative of Seeds of Rebellion, this is incredibly exciting for me. Like really, I can't describe it. So we take a trip to Amsterdam to the Guerrilla Games HQ, and we had this amazing chat back and forth where we figured that the best way to include narrative in this game would be to set it in Forbidden West.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
At a time that players have not experienced that region.
Right.
And the most appropriate time and the most exciting time are the 6 months before the events of the video game.
Oh, so it's acting as a prequel to what people can experience in the video game
Exactly.
counterparts. Okay. So is that meaning then that the events of this story here will flow seamlessly through? How do they connect? Like, without spoiling too much, obviously.
So with no spoilers whatsoever, we start roughly 6 months before the events of Forbidden West. The story will take place over those 6 months.
Okay.
And will end with events that happen concurrently with no spoilers. It's things that we already know about in the video game.
That sounds really cool. So the characters that we're going to be playing as, they are unique to this game, or they are going to be introduced, or how much can you divulge at this point?
A little bit. So these are brand new characters written for Seeds of Rebellion. You play as marshals of the Tanax clan, and you will be investigating the Seeds of Rebellion.
Right.
The early days of the Tanax Rebellion, read by Regala. You will discover characters you've never met before, characters you know very well.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
You will explore the landscape. You will uncover secrets. You will investigate plots. You will uncover all manner of things, and you will, of course, do battle with gigantic machines. You will experience the narrative via a choose your own adventure system. You will read a narrative entry. During that narrative entry, there may be some skill checks. We've been working on a system using the custom Horizon dice that allow people to pull from the total dice to try and overcome obstacles, any number of obstacles. You could be fleeing from machines, you could be scaling cliffs, you could be trying to hide while one of these particular big nasties is patrolling around. There could be all manner of rewards and consequences for these that have effects that lead not just into the future narrative, but the combat encounters that you will face immediately and in the future. That's
cool. So it's like an evolving narrative as well, in that choices that you make may come back to bite you literally in the butt later on.
Yeah,
interesting.
Quite literally.
Okay, that's cool. Now, obviously it's for 4 players, this, so I'm assuming then that the dice pool you were speaking about before, it's not sort of pushing towards one player making all the decisions. It's a communal aspect all the way through the narrative as well.
Yeah, very much. You'll be working together. Anytime that you're not in a combat situation, everything is a pooled resource.
That's cool.
You'll be cooperating with each other, making decisions as a team, very much, and you will be benefited as a group or punished as a group.
Oh, right, okay, so you better not be getting any rebellious thoughts going on in Seeds of Rebellion, because it is fully cooperative. Okay, so we've discussed a few bits on the narrative of Seeds of Rebellion, but you did mention something very, very important, and that is that this game, unlike Zero Dawn, the prior board game that you've made, this is fully cooperative. So how did you approach changing it from a pseudo-cooperative competitive element to fully cooperative?
So there's a number of aspects here that are different, and many of the mechanics in the game engine of Zero Dawn translate very nicely towards being fully cooperative. Obviously there are some tweaks. Enemies now have more health than they used to previously. To balance the scales a little bit, they also do a bit more damage. One of the really, really big things is actually a lot of little things, is that because you are now completely cooperating together towards one goal, there are so many new abilities and new effects and new rules that we can put in the game that directly benefit your allies and allow them to help you. So that is the layers and layers and layers that adds to the game experience is massive. One thing that we didn't really feel stood up to the shift to fully cooperative play was how machines became alert to characters. In Zero Dawn, machines would become alert independently of one another. They could alert others, and usually them attacking you in a frenzy would cause some havoc and lead to a chain of events. But it didn't really feel like that was the correct thing to continue on towards this engine. So we went back to the drawing board and we created this brand new bespoke system for Seeds of Rebellion. The enemies will have an alert token.
Yep.
And the characters will have their threat tokens.
Yep.
As the characters make actions, their threat tokens will rise.
Yep.
Certain actions, mostly attacks, will make the enemies generally more aware of the presence of someone not them. If they come into contact with us, they'll spot us.
Yep.
So we should avoid that. These are predictable. Then, when so much time has passed and we've been so active, we will be detected. Our tokens will move to this. Now the machines know we're here. And this gets harder.
Incredibly so.
Now, instead of the machines passively walking around their patrol routes,
well, they're trying to absolutely chomp us into pieces, isn't it? Yeah, I'm very familiar with that.
Yep, so now they resolve behavior cards.
Yep.
These are problematic, these are dangerous. You have to react very quickly, but the best laid plans can fall to pieces as soon as one of these is drawn.
But it's interesting that you mentioned the plans, because in the hands-on time that I've had with the game, like we were saying before, how you've addressed the cooperative battling experience is very ingenious, because using different abilities, cooperating with others and using synergy between classes, we were able to chain player activations together using the command system that you've come in, where at the end of your turn you roll a die, and if it's a success, it basically allows the next player in that chain to activate instead of the machines activating. That alone made for a really sort of like, right, well, I'm going to set something up for you and cross my fingers that it's going to pay off. And I love that sense of tension that starts right from the off. Very, very clever. Now, there's also something that came up here, is that there was a lot of abilities that revolved around traps. So can you explain that mechanic to those at home as well?
Yeah, so traps are something that I really wanted to be a core focus of the gameplay for two reasons. First of all, it really just feels natural. It feels so Horizon to walk around a map, jumping between tall grass to tall grass while the enemies haven't spotted us yet, and laying traps and patrol routes.
Yeah.
The other is, it really is something that allows us to get the most out of coordinating between characters when we can place traps and then lure enemies into them or push enemies into them. And the third, I said so too, but really there's three.
Right, okay, yeah.
The third thing is use of environmental traps.
Yes.
Such as causing an avalanche, causing logs to fall, etc. Is we can have traps preset up on the board. Sometimes they're there all the time. Sometimes your previous actions have allowed them to be active. And these allow for really, truly a tremendous amount of player agency in gameplay. I've used my first action. Yeah. I've made an attack, but I don't really want to do much with my second one. I can use that to place my trap.
What I absolutely love is that the traps have one specific feature that I think is incredible, which is that they bypass armor when they do damage. Now, I've been playing in the official playthrough that you can see on the YouTube channel for Steamforged. I was playing as a trapper who rolls more dice because they are an expert trapper, and it meant that I was able to do significantly more damage over a consistent time period compared to some of the other players, and it bypassed the armor, meaning that I was whittling things down before it even got close, which is fantastic. And the fact that we chained it together so many free turns, I was like, okay, let's get this party going. But still, I love the traps feature. I think it's fantastic, and the fact that you can imbue them with different status elements as well was even better.
Yeah, making use out of elemental conditions can be absolutely vital to how you will tackle particular enemies. Will you use adhesive to protect yourself, or will you use frost to make them more vulnerable to your attacks? Acid to weaken their armor. Maybe you'll just set them on fire.
I was about to say that's my favorite one because it just did flat damage, and that's always good, baby. Yeah, so traps, big thumbs up from me. Love the addition of them to the game. And the last bit of information that people need to know is, where can they get the core game? When does it come into Kickstarter? What's the sort of going on with that? Give some info.
Seeds of Rebellion launching on Kickstarter November 21st.
Nice, so you can go follow the link in the description of this video to find out more about it. And if you're excited to see how this actually plays out, go over to the Steamforged YouTube channel, well, you're already there to be fair, and go check out the official playthrough of Seeds of Rebellion. But that's been it from me. Hope you have a good day. Bye.